You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Intelligence After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Intelligence After Show.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Break it down.
I thought we were going to have Cotton Eye Joe.
No Cotton Eye Joe.
No.
Intelligence. AfterBuzz TV, After Show. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to episode 13, the season finale.
Oh, my gosh.
Being Human. I'm your host, Ryan Hooks. Joining me on the panel today, as always, it's my favorite thing to say, as always, joining me on the panel today, Yael Tygiel.
Hello, everyone.
Lem Gonsalvez.
I have glasses on.
Steven in the booth. Woo! And he's got a good, Lem, you have a nice hat on today as well. The chapeau.
Thank you. Thank you.
Glasses and a chapeau.
Yeah. So season finale, I'm gotta look right for it.
You gotta get dressed up. I got my blue shirt on,
You
my
do.
purple under.
It's like turquoise-ish.
Yeah, it brings out my eyes.
It does bring out your eyes.
Yeah.
And the swoosh in your hair.
The swoosh in the hair. It's getting
Alrighty.
long, that's what that means.
Yeah.
So, episode 13, the season finale. We've done it. We've made it through an entire season of Intelligence.
We have.
And so I want to start off right away with the title, Being Human.
Mm-hmm.
So the title of this episode, and at the end of the episode, it related back to the thought process of him being human and, you know, could he be manipulated because of the microchip, and his mom, Mrs. Vaughn.
Yes.
Yeah, Mrs. Vaughn.
Yeah, Mrs. Vaughn.
I liked her a
made
lot.
a great little comment like, well, you know, Weatherly was a human and he wasn't a microchip, and he was manipulated and controlled, and he did bad things. So there's not saying that you're going to do bad things. And I liked that. Like, I thought that was a nice, like, touching end to this first season. Because, you know, Vaughn did some good things, even though he did some bad things. But I don't know. What do you think of that concept of him and being human?
Well, I think that like halfway through the season, we started to really delve into this concept and argument that he's been having within himself of, am I machine, am I human? And I like that they were like, you know what? We're going to conclusively end this for you. It's the season finale. You need to know that we believe with all our hearts, as the people behind the show, as the characters in the show, as the fandom, that he is a person first and foremost.
And what better person to do that is your mom.
Yeah.
And of course, at the end of the episode, you know, his partner that has been there throughout the whole time kind of reaffirms the same thing.
Yep.
And has that dope line, I thought, which I think it was the last line of the show, which she said, "You're above human.
You're more than
human." Thank you. Thank you. So I think I think it was good. I agree with you wholeheartedly that he did have that battle, and it was a great way to kind of end on that note, to kind of solidify, yes, you are human, you have this microchip, but at the end of the day, you're flesh and blood, and that's all that matters.
And they even set it up in the earlier part of the episode. DNA Weatherly talked about the naming of clockwork. And the whole concept of clockwork came from this 19th century story, the ablest man in the world who had a clock for a brain. And there was a mad scientist involved, which obviously you would assume that was Weatherly at that point. And, you know, and the whole concept of this humanity versus machine, which is something that I think is very prevalent in society now. Because, you know, with technology advancing so much, and where does the line draw between what is human, what is not human, with Android technology, and even with the cell phones that people have? I mean, there's so much a part of our everyday life.
Oh, yeah.
That, you know, where do we draw that line?
deep.
It is very deep.
It was good. I liked that concept of the ending of this show for this season. And that kind of wrapped everything up in a tidy little bow.
And then and I think it was you that mentioned it about Weatherly being able to be manipulated, and there is no chip in his brain. And that was a great way to show
his mom.
the
His mom putting
juxtaposition.
down mom knowledge.
I just wish that they would have brought her sooner.
That's what Yael said,
right?
too.
Did you say that?
Dude,
I was like, where was she earlier? Like, I wanted to see her earlier.
Her and Nelson just need to go, and that is a show I would watch.
Right.
Just her and Nelson?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and let's talk about that, because that was actually one of the things I want to talk about, is we had character returns. Character returns on character returns.
Right.
And we talked about them and when they were going to show up, if they were going to show up. So Agent Griffin shows up for like 2 seconds.
And then she gets
fired. Thanks, Riley, you jerk.
That was funny.
She gets him fired and we don't even see him again after that.
Yeah, he doesn't even get the chance to like yell at her or anything.
I feel like he would show up
though
and slap her.
that's redemption for what happened to them before in Panama.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
You know,
That's
going
definitely-
back.
Right.
And we got Mei Chin, we got Leland Strand, so we got pretty much everyone back except Amelia, which is one of the ones that we weren't sure were going to happen. So do you think if this show doesn't get picked up, do you think the thought process was what we've established without her, we can continue on and close on more so than if we introduced her in the last episode and left it that way? So like with the thought of a season 2 out of the picture, do you think that they made the right choice leaving Amelia out?
Well, I think, okay, because we talked about earlier about the shows being kind of switched around episodes wise, I really think that the whole Amelia situation, I think when they decided to switch the shows around, they automatically decided to not bring her back.
They cut her out at that point.
I think it was a cutout.
Episode 5 or whatever, when they stopped talking about her.
Exactly, and she came up and like, you know, here and there,
Right.
and we're like, oh, they said her name, big deal. It doesn't matter. I think that they automatically, because they thought the show was going to run better and they were going to be more with the show without having her constricted as a character.
Well, I mean, they did bring her up in this episode. In the finale, his mom said when she thought that Riley and him were a situation,
right.
she was like, well, he, you know, has lost his wife and now he's hopefully dating again, or I'm happy to meet you, whatever.
Right. But the key word is lost his wife, meaning like she's not
Gone.
coming back.
Yeah, she's not coming back.
Right, but she knows, Vaughn's mom knows Amelia was gone as she was gone when the show started, not as she was gone when we saw her again and then she blew up. I still think that they plan to bring her back at some point.
I think that at this point, they probably made a decision, probably, I would say around episode 5 was when I saw a switch in the writing style.
Right.
That they said, you know what? She's not relevant to this season. Let's get her out of the picture for this season and let things develop as they will. And once we get into a second season, then we could bring her back. That would be something they could look into a premiere episode for season 2. Like, here's your plot twist that we throw at you right away to get you sucked back in. You know, especially after a break, after filming and that kind of stuff, because you would not potentially see a season 2, you know, until late winter.
Yeah.
You know, November, December, even next year in the spring.
Yeah.
So in terms of that aspect, I think that's a good idea that they made that decision, and it showed. I think as the episodes progressed, I feel like they got better. Like, I feel like at first they were totally unsure about where everything was going and where they were for sure wanting to focus things.
They were trying to figure
and
out.
they were like weighing out the options as they were showing things. But then they were like, you know what? This is where we're going, and they beelined with it through the last few episodes. You know, I feel like they really picked up steam with the last few episodes, and they all of us have kind of agreed that they were very intriguing episodes. They had a lot of aspects in terms of emotional aspects, in terms of character development, in terms of the acting, you know, the plot line, the action. It was all there for all the last few episodes. So I think that once they picked the direction with the show, they did a great job with it.
I think so too. I agree. I think it was a very muddled at the beginning because, like you said, a great point. I think they were trying to figure out where they were going to go,
Right.
The direction with the show itself, and then they kind of make some things and changes, and however that happened. But I will say, I mean, it did become for a while. I think it was the best. The last, I would say, 4 episodes were the best episodes because prior to that, once they did make that switch, I did think that it was very cliche for some of the episodes. Like, okay, there's something that happens, let's go save the world, and then now we're back for the waiting for the next, you know, mission
Next
or whatever.
event.
But I think there was a lot more color to the episodes, and they became more intriguing. Probably, like I said, you know, last four, maybe 5 episodes that were in the tail end, and maybe they did that purposely, knowing that they wanted to go out that way.
I feel like they realized that what we were more interested in were the characters that work with Vaughn and how everybody interacts and is a part of the story. And so if you notice, a lot of it has been about Lillian, and everyone loves that she's this badass female who's in charge, who's, you know, making the decisions. We got to meet her daughter. We got to meet her dad. Like, that was so much more interesting than Gabriel and Riley running around with the story of the week. And I think they figured it out by the end.
And if you think back to so many weeks ago when we first started the show, one of the things that I said was, what is this show going to do to set itself apart from other shows that are like this show? Is it like Chuck? Is it like Almost Human? Is it like Revolution? Is there these aspects of this show that other shows already have So what is it doing? And that's one of the things I think they did a little bit late, but they brought in these different aspects of character development with looking at the family aspect, with looking at relationships. And, you know, I wish I would have done it a little bit sooner, but they did get it, and I think they started to get it right towards the end.
I think the only thing they should have done sooner was bring in
Vaughn's mom.
Yes. I just want to be clear.
Episode 13 lacked two things to me. Not enough Vaughn's mom and not enough Nelson. That's it.
Agreed.
If we would have had more Nelson and more Vaughn's mom, best episode to date.
But he did, and can I just say this? Great, I think the best line in the whole thing, she said toad whore. I wrote that down. What is a toad whore? I've never heard that term
None
before.
of your business.
Stop being a toad whore.
Yeah.
Just don't worry about it.
I just was like, I didn't know where that came from, but it just stuck out, and
If
I'm
you
like,
don't know what it means you're one of them.
is
You
that,
should just Urban Dictionary it and find out.
should I? Is it going to be an Urban Dictionary?
Probably
though?
not.
That's what
All
I'm
right, so
thinking.
I've got three things that I want to talk about before we talk about the plot that are not related to intelligence. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Can you guess?
No.
Okay. So number one, for all you AfterBuzz TV fans out there, AfterBuzz TV now has an app for Android and iPhone.
What?
It's off the chain. I just downloaded it today. It just premiered today.
Oh, wow.
Like I just downloaded it, and it has every single AfterBuzz show in an alphabetical list. You can click on the show. It's going to list every single episode that's been put on in numerical order. And you can just either listen to it live from the app, or you can link you right to YouTube and watch the episode live that way.
That's awesome.
On Android and iTunes. So download it.
If you need the link, I tweeted it out earlier today.
Yep, you can hit up Yael's Twitter. I'll probably tweet them both out too. I sent out about it, but I haven't tweeted the links yet. But just go to the Google Play Store or the iOS App Store. You can download them. Just search AfterBuzz TV. It'll pop up. It's sweet. Check it out.
That's awesome.
Number two, Chasing Maria. Episode 3 this week.
Yes.
Oxygen. Maria Menounos' awesome new show, Chasing Maria. Support our owner because we love her and she keeps us doing what we're doing.
She
Yep.
does.
Check it out. It's awesome. I love this week. They had a really funny fake post for April Fool's Day because the whole show, a lot of it's Maria's parents are trying to get them to get married, Kevin and Maria, and they sent out a picture of them in front of a chapel in Las Vegas, and it was a joke for April Fool's Day.
That was dope.
Nice.
It was kind of funny. Number 3, iTunes.
Yeah, I saw that coming.
Dude, iTunes is always where it's at because that's where you can find us if you don't have the app and if you don't use YouTube. You can go to iTunes, you can download our show, tell your friends, leave comments. Thanks to all the people that checked us out throughout the season on the iTunes. You know who you are, Joe.
Yeah.
We appreciate all of
Anzu,
you.
all you friends out there. Thanks for
Yes.
checking us out, leaving us comments. We appreciate you guys so much. When we're back for season 2, we'll be looking for you.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Nice.
I
was
think
all.
that's enough.
Those were important.
3 quick things. Check out the app for sure, though. The app is so cool. It's totally worth checking out and downloading.
I'm so excited about
Tell us
that.
how awesome it is.
And it's
Yeah.
free.
And it's free. Yeah, whatever. Done. So let's talk about this episode. So we picked up where we left off last week with Mei Chin, Vaughn, and Riley. They're on the run, and Vaughn has still been shot, in case you forgot.
Right.
Because that's where we ended up last week. And they go to Vaughn's mom's house because
Yeah,
they
they
need
do.
help. I love how he's like just driving him, like, just turn left. And you can tell it's almost like he's getting anxiety about like when you go to your mom's house after you haven't been there for a while. And he's like, dang, my mom's gonna be all over me about what I've been doing and why am I shot showing up at her house? And you can just see the stress.
Wait, am I the only person who doesn't have anxiety when I go see my mom?
I'm not saying that everyone does. I'm just saying there are people that like dread going to their parents' house because every time they go home, their parents treat them like
if you
kids.
haven't been there in a long time.
Yeah, and
I think that's where that comes
Yeah,
from.
and your parents treat you like
get
your little kid
so
still.
excited.
And
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
miss my parents.
No,
I'm not saying that everyone does. I'm just saying there are people in society that
alright.
dread going to their parents' house.
In
You said
society.
it. You said it as though it's like a natural thing that he had this crazy anxiety.
I think if you have a mom like Mrs. Vaughn, then why wouldn't you have anxiety about going home?
I would love to go home, but if that was my
Mrs.
mom, I would never
My
move out.
alcoholic surgery nurse mom,
Yeah,
done. We'd
was
hang out
so
and get
gay.
tanked.
with that gun.
Right.
The cannon,
Not a
can't-
paperweight.
not loaded. Just take someone's leg off of that thing.
Right.
But he's been shot, and the mom obviously was an ex-army nurse. Found out dad was dead, and Mei Chin puts him into a cyber render hospital to help calm him down.
Yeah.
They talk about things they have in common. They both lost a father. They both lost a sibling. And I felt like they were going to do more with Mei Chin in this episode. And I feel like she had an important part, but she kind of just disappeared after this. Like, she left and went on about her merry way.
I feel like she was just like Griffin, where they brought her in and they were like, "This is important," and then they're like, "All right, now she exits."
Yeah, but she's important at the end, though. Because you'll forget the second ending, which I haven't mentioned because I'm trying to
Right.
save it to the end.
Right. But I'm saying, like, I feel that they brought her back the same way they brought back Griffin. In this episode specifically, she just disappears after the first 5 minutes.
I don't know, and I'm glad that Michael Chuka came back, but I don't know if his character was relevant in coming back in the aspect of, okay, so we find out that the plot then is about Governor Cameron, and they're going to try to kill her because she's going to be the next president, and they don't want her in power because they're hindering the things the Iranians are trying to do. Mei Chin gives him that information, though, and that's relevant in the aspect of they brought her back. She helps move the plot along, and she gives him the information that he needs.
She's also the one that committed the crime.
Contracted, right. And so that's why she's brought in. Griffin, though, was like, hey, I need to go meet this woman. Can you get me in? Yeah, I'll make a call. And then that was it.
I'm saying we could have used him.
We could use more Griffin. I wish that Griffin would have been involved more. Like, he could have showed up at the house with everyone else. Something.
But if you think about it, was his character really important for the whole overall? You think so?
Yes.
He's good to look at.
That's why I was going to say. Okay.
Listen, you know who's good to look at is Nelson. Okay? That's all we need. We need Nelson to look at.
It is Nelson.
Although Agent Jameson showed up too, a little bit hanging out.
Yeah, he did.
Anyway, so we find out that Mei Chin is gone because she just slipped out the back door while they were distracted saving him and whatnot. And that's fine. We know she's going to come back because she always comes back. She always comes back hard.
But I thought she was going to come back. Do you think she's going to come back sooner?
I did too. I thought she was going to come
back. I did too.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. She just disappeared.
Right. Yeah, we don't need her anymore. Let's bring her back later. But that's okay because we don't need to talk about that plotline anymore because now we're over at the U.S. Cyber Command.
Exactly.
And we got Lillian being mad about something.
Oh my gosh.
Always.
Shocker.
No, so DNA Weatherly shows up and he's questioning Lillian and he's questioning Tizitsu about what happened and the quote unquote complications, as he said, where Vaughn got shot, but it wasn't by them, as he kept reminding everyone that it wasn't by us, it wasn't by us.
Right.
Oh, but it was by you. But that's okay, because Titizu is still in charge. It's Jeff. I'm just going to start calling him Jeff. Jeff. Agent Jeff.
Agent Jeff.
Agent Jeff is still in command, still wants the, what's he call it? The Force, the Delta Force protection about killing Vaughn. Like, that's still a go.
Right.
Even though Lillian argues that he's one of us. We don't need to kill him. We don't need these things. He's not deadly. He's not trying to do anything. And she still believes that he's innocent. So it's good. We still got people on the inside that are fighting for the cause. So at this point, what did you think? Like, where are we at with everything that was going on? Did you have any thoughts about stuff that was going to happen?
At this point, I knew, and I feel terrible for saying it, but I'm going to say it. I knew that it was, of course, somebody high up was going to be evil, and of course it wasn't going to be Jeff, because we've already established that Jeff keeps saying that it wasn't him, and everyone's suspicious, which means that it can't be him.
Clearly can't be him, because he's not, right.
And I knew that eventually they'd figure it out, and they'd solve the problem, and they'd save everyone, and Vaughn would live.
Vaughn will, of course, live, because they can't have a season 2 without Vaughn.
Right.
You don't know.
Well, I mean, they could have a season 2 about Mei Chin, and I would totally watch that show.
They could have a season 2 about Vaughn's mom and Nelson.
Oh, I'd watch that show for sure, too.
They should have a spin-off show.
Yeah, they should.
Just call it Vaughn's mom.
Right. And Nelson comes by and does stuff
Hangs
for
out.
her or whatever.
He sets her DVR for her.
Right. That would be dope.
I feel like we're just explaining the plot of We're the Millers.
Right.
Like,
right.
we just got to We're the Millers.
Yeah.
With Vaughn and his mom.
Why
and
not?
His crazy friend.
Why not?
Perfect.
Done.
Do it.
And that's on CBS too, right?
Yeah. I don't.
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it is on CBS because the guy that's one of the writers was on Survivor, and he's a CBS guy.
Bam.
Done.
Done.
So We're the Millers. Cancel all the actors.
Right.
No, get rid of all the actors on We're the Millers and bring in Vaughn's mom and PJ.
Yeah.
And done.
But they need to be Vaughn's mom and
yeah.
Nelson. They can't just take over.
And Vaughn can still be doing missions in the background.
Right.
I feel like we're getting off task. We should get back to the topic at hand, which is the plot.
Right.
The relevant thing. But we find out that Riley and Vaughn are discussing the events that happened. They decide they trust Mei Chin. They decide that the shooter is somebody else, and it wasn't her, and they believe her. They're going to go into more detail with meeting our good friend, the Governor Cameron. And they go to her office and meet her. But there's also some explanation some more about the flood, where Lillian is telling the whole gang, because the gang's back together.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are. They're talking about the flood and who they are.
Wait, before they even get back together, someone infiltrates Vaughn's mom's house.
That's overlapping. I have that right below what I just said.
Apologize.
No, we're good. Because at the same time, Vaughn's mom spots somebody outside. But we're getting information about the flood. So, Lem, you're a military guy. And in the scene where he's got this cannon of a gun and he sees some hairspray and he grabs the hairspray. What did you think was going to happen with the hairspray?
Exactly what happened.
Did you think that was...
You thought he was going to put it in the microwave?
I didn't, not necessarily. I should let me rephrase.
Thank you.
I knew that there was going to be some type of weapon devised.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I was thinking, honestly, when I saw that, I was like MacGyver. Remember MacGyver? And how he used to do things. He was amazing.
Yeah.
So, and he was a military person. So I immediately thought that he was going to do something that was going to be make some type of weapon or something like that to make like either some bomb substance. The microwave kind of threw me. I was like, oh, okay, I see that. But he was going to do something because, of course, with hairspray, you know, it's flammable.
Yeah.
So you can make a torch or something incendiary was going to happen with that hairspray.
Okay, so I'll tell you where I was at. I immediately thought, because I used to, when I was a little kid, I used to take hairspray and I used to light it on fire. I used to spray hairspray out of the cans, light them on fire. I used to spray things with hairspray and light it on fire. I used to just burn things because I was that kid.
Yep.
I was that magnifying glass ant kid. And I thought that he was going to throw it and shoot it and it was going to explode.
Really?
That was like where my brain was. And then when I saw it in the microwave, I was like, that makes sense. But at the same time, if the can was an aluminum hairspray can, which most of them are, it would have been shooting microwave waves all over the place.
Right.
And if it was plastic, it wouldn't have exploded. So I feel like there's a contrast to me, like what actually happened to what really could have happened.
But if you think about it, I mean, okay, now throwing it and shooting it, that's kind of like some movie stuff. Like, I think it's
like
more practical.
Throw it on the stairs and bang.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
but
just
also,
what.
it would have there. And
But
if
I mean,
he
But it would
wasn't-
have went right in his face.
I think the point is, though, that's something that we see in movies and
Action
other shows
movies,
like
right.
that. I think what he did, regardless of the situation, is more practical.
Regardless if the microwave would have shot
Right.
electric waves. If
Right.
you ever put a fork or anything aluminum in the microwave, good
Goes
Lord,
down.
within 3 seconds it's on fire.
It is. But I think it was just more practical. I think it was a more practical application to do that. And then it was a way to kind of hide behind it because he was able to kind of put it in the microwave and then step away.
Yeah,
And the
it was a
guy just stared at
distraction.
it like, what
Yeah,
is
he's
in the
like, what is
microwave?
this? Done.
Done. He's dead.
So, hey,
Yeah.
he's a soldier.
Dude, Thomas Olivier, he is not clearly one of the 6 tigers if that's how he goes down.
Right.
And then Von's mom comes in and saves the day after he wakes back up.
Yeah.
Like, you have been out of the game for a hot minute.
I thought that too. I was like, when they said, you know, you got the face plant or whatever, I'm like, he was one of them? He went down so easy.
Yeah,
so
right.
Here's the thing: is that the 6 tigers weren't necessarily the best hand to hand or fighting combat, whatever. They were the ones who were the best, who would make it up the ranks. So they would have to be much more in intelligence gathering, analysis, that type of things, and the manipulation of moving up the ranks within the spy world, not necessarily hand-to-hand combat or shooting. Or
But we're
feel
not
like-
even talking about
yeah.
hand-to-hand combat. We're just talking about wits.
Doing something stupid like putting
Right.
your face into a microwave and
Exactly.
getting blown up.
He got distracted because that's what it was. It was a distraction. He went in, got distracted.
Boom.
I'm just saying.
Maybe he was the least of the 6.
Sure, that's also possible.
Maybe.
Whatever.
He was the least of the. He was like number 6.5.
Right,
It was
right.
between him and another guy, and the other
Right.
guy got shot.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like he
It's
gets like,
like,
all
he gets
right,
moved up. He
last
gets moved
minute
up.
thrown in.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I'm okay with it.
Moving on.
Moving right along. Number 6 is down. Number 1 through 5 are still kicking it.
Exactly.
But Riley comes home and finds him laying on the floor and whips out her gun, and then Jameson comes in, and I was like, oh man, tension. Like I wondered if anyone was gonna get shot in that moment.
Did you think that?
I wasn't sure. I felt like Riley was.
Who'd you
Mike?
think? You think she would have shot him?
Oh yeah, Riley for sure would have shot.
Yeah, that's
If
what I
anyone
thought.
was taking the shot, it's
Right.
Riley.
I
Of
thought the
course.
same thing.
Yeah.
But it's okay. And Mrs. Vaughn wants answers, but she's not getting any.
No.
Mrs. Vaughn.
Tell me right now.
No, but it's cool. They leave. And now the whole gang is really back together because they go over to Dr. Cassidy's house and just kick it.
Right.
I feel like that's the party house. Like they always end up at Cassidy's house,
They do.
hanging out.
They do.
So, and they're talking about like their plan. They're talking about the flood, and they're getting all the explanation. And this part, and we talked about it a few weeks ago. This is the part where I was like, "Wow, I'm glad they finally went there." Jeff calls. He's got information, admits to being wrong, and is like, "I'm going to send you some pictures about what we're talking about," and gets shot. I did not see that coming when he got shot.
You didn't?
No, I just I wasn't prepared for that. Like I was like, no way.
Well, I'll say that. I'll say that I wasn't prepared as well. But if anybody was going to get shot,
Oh yeah.
they need to be him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Teddy for sure needed to be the one to get shot.
For sure.
Did you see it coming, yo?
I don't know. I don't know if I saw it coming. I didn't see it coming, but I liked that they shot him.
I did too.
I also like, and so I've said this before, I like it when a show does something smart. And so he's shot, what does he do? He
shoots
uses
back.
all his energy
Right.
to shoot back and then
Finishing that
to
text.
send the thing. Because I really hate it when like people are dying and they use their last energy to do something stupid.
Right.
He did something
So was
good.
that a redeeming factor for him in this show? Because up until now, he's kind of been arrogant. He's kind of been a jerk. We haven't really liked him. There's been nothing about him that's made us want to be his friend or cheer for him. In the end, he's doing the right thing. He realizes that he's made a mistake. He admits to making a mistake, that he believes Lily and that he believes Vaughn, and he's going to send them information so that they can figure out what's going on. Because he knows they're the ones. They're the A team, and he's sending him this picture of the Six and the Flood group, even while he's getting shot. So was that redeeming to you guys?
I definitely think it was redeeming. I definitely think it was redeeming for the simple fact of what you said. He didn't do anything stupid. He shot the other guy, which, okay, he's gangsta. He killed the other guy while he was down on the ground, and he did the right thing after, sending them information so they can make sure that they get it.
I think that his apology, regardless of whether he got shot or not, I think that from that point on, had he lived, he would have been trusted and more on their team. And that would have been exciting to see. But I kind of like that he died.
I'm inclined to agree with you.
I like that they made us like him and then took him away. I love that.
They had to kill somebody off,
Right.
Before the
Yeah,
season
they
was
did.
over.
Yeah, they did. There's too many, way too many people.
There's a lot of people.
On these characters, I can't keep them all straight.
Right.
Speaking of characters who I can't keep straight, here's Leland's house. So they end up at Leland's house. So they're getting the picture and they're analyzing the image. Everyone's there, and they start talking about the picture. And there's some writing on the back of the picture, and it's names, and it's names of tigers,
Not coffee,
not coffee.
which was great.
I did like that.
Because I was like, ooh, coffee. I also thought coffee.
You also, I didn't think anything. I just felt like it was code that we were going to figure out.
Right.
But they were the tigers, so they figured out that these are the 6 tigers, and that their image was taken in the 80s because they told the story about when they all went to Canada on this farm. They sent an image back to the leader, and they figured out that the imaging, the gray blocking on the face, was an old school 80s programming, just called image blocking. Straight up a blocked image. So that there was an algorithm that could figure it out. Of course there's an algorithm to figure it out. It's a computer.
I just love how they got so excited.
Oh, yeah. Nelson's like, oh, my God.
He wins it again. It's like, it's the 80s. We can kick it.
I love that they bring up the fact that technology was
crappy.
Yeah.
And that, like, if it was now blurred out, they wouldn't be able to do it. But that because it's old, they're like, yes!
They were
We've got
so
crappy old
excited.
technology. So they do a little cyber rendering and they reverse engineer the photo. And he takes the image of the guy that he killed, the number 6, Tom. Well, apparently the guy that killed Tedazu is the number 5. Because if he's one of the 6 too, he's...
Do you think he was?
I mean, who else would he be?
They could have hired him in.
But he looked kind of young.
Yeah,
though.
Mitch
He looked
isn't
a little,
a...
he
It's
looked
irrelevant.
young. Yeah.
Tedazu's dead. Moving right along. The image blurring, they figured out that which face was Tom's, and then they also figured out some of the other people. And I liked it when they were cyber rendering it. He did the outside ones, and it was no random. It was just random.
Right.
And then we get
last one.
the last one.
Wait, before we get to the last one, I know that we discussed last week when we suggested that Amelia might be one of them. And
There was a woman. in
there
there.
was a woman, but it clearly wasn't. She
Well,
was
they
blonde.
didn't show her face. They didn't get that far.
She was blonde.
No, so they
Oh,
showed
she
her.
went-
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, they did.
They got all of them.
I was watching it in reverse and backwards. I didn't see it.
It was
Anyway.
very quick.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I just wanted to point that out, that there was a woman, which I noticed earlier when we saw in
The picture the second time in this episode.
no, the first time, way before the episode starts, the previously on Intelligence,
Okay.
I looked for a woman because
After we talked about it, yeah, because it was like one of those things. Well, I didn't see it. Maybe there was. It could have
Yeah.
been. We're just throwing things at the wall and seeing if it sticks.
Yeah, and
It
we
didn't.
were right.
We were sort of right that there was a woman.
There
and
was
she-
a woman.
Half right.
But anyway,
You're
that's fine.
welcome.
We find out that our good friend DNA Adam Weatherly is an Iranian spy. There's your hierarchy of command coming down on people. He's the one that made the call to allow Tedazu to go ahead and proceed with force.
He also is the one that when
Put him in command.
Governor Cameron called and was like, hey, turns out there's
Yeah.
someone's trying to kill me. He's like, we'll take care of this.
Right.
Don't worry, we'll handle it.
Yep.
You just go about your daily business having a
Right.
charity pheasant hunt.
And I'm gonna
'Cause
join
that's-
you.
That's what you do when you're a governor who's running for president. You have a charity pheasant hunt and you shoot things.
Yep.
Didn't that happen with the former vice president getting shot and something like that?
I don't think it was pheasant, but yeah.
I mean, whatever.
He shot somebody.
Hunting accident.
Yeah, hunting
Exactly.
accident. I thought about that when this episode. I was like, oh.
I thought it was
Interesting.
like, oh, it's a hunting accident
Right.
and the governor's going down. But that's okay because Vaughn and Riley are en route to save the day. They get there, but it's too late. They've already gone out. And Weatherly is already on the team with Governor Cameron. Just in time, though. Weatherly's raising his gun to shoot the governor, and Riley's like, freeze! And there's a shootout. I love a shootout.
You gotta have a shootout.
You gotta have a shootout. We had an explosion.
Right.
So we needed a couple shootouts. They had
Yeah.
2 shootouts, though, because they shot the other guy. But when Vaughn's in the chase for Weatherly, I was like, I thought Weatherly was going to get away. Because
Really?
he's injured. He's got the gunshot wound to his side. You know, he's already tore the stitches once.
He's Delta Force.
He's a
Right.
man
Right.
run with stitches.
Yeah.
But I did like that he got smart. He's like, you know what? I can't find him. I'm going to use my technology. Gets the satellite right up, finds
Right.
heat sensor. Oh, there he is right there. Boom. I got you. You're done.
Well, so this episode, the last 2 episodes, last episode, this one, because of the situation, Vaughn is really unable to use his chip because they could track him if he did. And so it was really interesting to finally see him, you know, at the end of the season, we get to see him just be badass and not rely on his chip.
When he did use it a couple times, because he used it obviously to do the photo.
Right, but he didn't rely on it the way he has in every other episode this season.
Right. It's him doing his thing and then going from there.
But I think that's attributed to the fact that he was probably hurt. You know, he was hurt this whole entire episode. So he had to rely on his mom.
And they're
He had to
developing
rely
him-
on, you know, on all of that.
He's being human.
Right.
Aptly titled, which I talked about at the very beginning. Where were we at when we talked about this 10 minutes ago?
I'm just saying I like it.
in the
I didn't know. No, I'm
I
not
was in
talking
the
to you. I'm talking to you.
bathroom.
I'm talking to Lem.
Lem.
Yo, you were there. Thank you for joining
I was
us.
in the bathroom.
Lem was in the bathroom. Make sure he didn't get anything on his glasses.
Right.
I do like though how
Whatever,
this
I
episode
was wrong.
the episode gets wrapped up in this little bow. Weatherly's in prison, telling the story, but I like that the prison is in like some boat
Yeah.
in the Baltimore harbor. Like really, like you're getting real shady now.
Right.
Like you're locked away, dude. Nobody knows you're
It's like
here.
they brought Alcatraz back or something like
Yeah,
that.
nobody knows
Right.
you're gonna rot
Right.
in that boat, and no one's gonna find you. And like I said, it wraps up here, and the mom thing, which is cool, talking about the chip and talking about being human. You know, here's her quote. You know, I'm not less than human. You're more than human. So when the first ending ended, and they
First
cut
ending ended?
when that was the first ending, wrapped up the show in a nice little package.
Yeah.
The next scene was the outside of the boat. When that scene popped up, before you saw or heard anything,
Yes.
did you have thoughts on what was going to happen
Yes.
next?
Yes.
What
And I
were-
knew it was going to be Mei Chin.
No, but were your thoughts what happened, or were they something else?
What do you mean? Oh, like that. He was
Okay,
gonna-
so here's an example. When the boat popped up, I was like, dude, I bet Mei Chin is going to rescue Weatherly and like get him out of there. Like that was my thought, that she was going to I knew it was Mei Chin in some aspect. But my thought was actually she was going to rescue him because he's the one that hired her.
Right.
And she was going to get him out, and then they were going to be bad guys.
I had a different thought.
What was your thought, Yael?
I thought Amelia was going to show up.
Did you really?
Yeah. I thought
Serious?
Amelia was going to show up and tell him
That was
he-
your last couple minutes. That was the time.
I was like, she's going to show up and be like, you messed up. And, you know, whoever is in charge is angry. And then either kill him or just tell him that they're not going to save him and leave. That's what I thought was going to happen.
Interesting. I thought that it was going to be Mei Chin for sure. But I thought that he was going to be rescued. But he was going to be rescued and something was going to happen. It wasn't like he was going to be rescued, because they wouldn't end it that way. Oh, he's rescued. Oh, yay. And then we go on to the next one. There was going to be some twist, but I didn't think that what happened about him being strangled. And then, of course, when she goes out and then we
Right.
find out
Twist.
that was a bombshell.
When she got in the car,
Yeah.
I was watching it with closed caption. It said "man" like voice, and I was like, "Dude, that's Leland's voice."
Yeah.
That
No
voice-
way! Like
that
I could
voice-
just tell it was
Yeah.
Peter Coyote's voice.
We didn't even need to see him.
No, no.
I heard it and I was like, oh.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Boom.
And then they showed us and I was like, no, I
Yeah.
know. I got it.
Yeah, we figured it out like 20 seconds ago. As soon as I
Already.
heard him say
Right.
what he said, you know.
But what's interesting, so I want you to correct me if I'm wrong. She was working for Weatherly and now she's working for Leland, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Weatherly hired her to help get
Frame
rid of Vaughn,
Vaughn.
because he wanted to have Vaughn was the only one that could stop their plans, because they're trying to put somebody in the seat of president so that they can have control.
Right.
He was the only person that could figure that out.
Okay.
Leland hired Mei Chin to get rid of Weatherly.
Got it. Just making sure that I
And
have
then
it right at the end.
That's what I think.
So that's
That it wasn't that she was working for Leland the whole
the
time.
whole
No.
time.
No.
See, I thought something different. I thought she was working for Leland the whole time.
Well, he says at the
because
end.
I have more work for you to do.
Yeah, I
And-
thought that was you did well this time.
Right.
Yeah.
I will
Because
give you
it's
more.
it would also, if that's the case, it still also fits within what she was telling Vaughn.
And I agree. If you
about
go-
like, hey, it's your own people, you know, because technically Leland is
Was their
well, yeah, exactly.
Right. So, and it very likely could have been Leland's master plan was to set up Weatherly
Right.
by setting up Vaughn by
Right.
using Mei Chin, and it
Right.
was like this full crazy elaborate circle.
To me,
which
that makes more sense.
I guess we'll have to wait till next season to
I
find
think
out.
that we will. But I'm glad, though, just to wrap up on this little part here, they went there. A couple weeks ago, when they had the opportunity to kill off Dr. Cassidy, and they didn't, we talked about would the show go there. They did.
Right.
They decided to go there at the finale episode, and they killed off two characters.
two people, two
Can-
prominent people.
Can we actually call that as them going there? Because they weren't people that we were emotionally
Right.
invested in.
They weren't. It was like they're flirting with there.
Yeah.
It was like they were just tickling right there. just dangling it in front of us.
Yes, I'll allow that.
Okay, you'll allow that?
Then it was like, oh, I guess we can do this, but we weren't emotionally invested in Weatherly or Jeff.
Not too much, no.
No.
But they were prominent, they were prominent characters, and you got two for we got
Yeah, you got
two
two for
one, yeah.
semi-attached characters instead of one attached.
And they set it up nicely. I feel like it was a closing, but also could be a beginning. So that like we don't feel cheated if they don't get a second season, but we feel like they could pick up right where they left off.
I love the fact that it was Leland though. I
Yeah.
love the
I
fact
did
that
too.
he was behind.
I did love that was him. So I want to ask then. So we've seen a whole season.
I'm excited.
You're ready.
I'm excited for his question.
You ready for this?
Put your hand down.
Okay. So
Oh my God.
Gross.
you have seen 13 episodes
Yes.
of Intelligence on CBS. At the beginning, I posed the question, were they going to do the right things to prepare for a second season? Because as of right now, there have been no commitments from CBS in relation to a second season. We've heard no news or gossip or anything from CBS or from its affiliates or anything else. So in your opinion, was what they've done to date enough?
Enough. Enough to get us a
The
new
clock
season?
is ticking. Did they do enough to draw in enough fans to
make it
justify
okay.
a second season?
No, but only because they did not introduce Vaughn's mother earlier.
Clock is
turn?
ticking.
I'm gonna say because, as I said before, they stepped it up in the last 4 episodes. Yes.
Yes. One yes, one no, deciding
Yes.
vote. And honestly, your time is up.
That was
was-
wonderful.
Yeah.
What show is that where you pick the case? That's what that was, right?
Millionaire.
Millionaire, yeah.
Millionaire.
Who wants to be a millionaire?
That's
not
not
the
where
one
you
with
pick
the
the
case.
case, though.
Oh.
That's Deal or No Deal.
Oh, I don't know, whatever.
Drinks.
Oh, me a Coke. Oh, so we got one yes, one no. And I'm inclined to agree with both of you. In the whole process, from start to finish, I'm not sure that it's there. And Yael's agreement. I'm just devil's advocate all day long.
Yeah,
Here.
jerk.
In Lem's agreement, in the last 4 or 5 episodes, if they would have led the season after the first episode, because the first episode really kicked off with really high ratings, and then sort of started to fall off towards the middle of the season. Had they put that stuff earlier, where we got these major interactions with these major depth of character, with this development and that kind of stuff, I think yes, they would have continued to maintain viewership that would have had enough to get them into a second season. But I feel like if people stopped watching around those 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th episodes, they didn't come back in the final episodes to see the
Right.
show pick up.
Right.
You know what it is? The reason it's not coming back is because we didn't get a Vaughn Riley kiss.
Wah, wah.
We didn't get it.
I thought it was gonna happen. I really thought it was gonna happen. That part when they're on the couch, and I was like, okay, it's the season finale. He's been wanting it. He's like, he was
She
had that
wants it.
look.
I didn't think it was gonna happen.
I thought it was gonna happen. I thought it was gonna, especially because of the mom
His mom was
insinuating,
there.
Yeah.
and she was just like, yeah, you know, you don't know what is that, you know, and you think about it, every other time that's come up, she's like, nope, we're not even there, and da 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 da, and this time she didn't like. You know, she didn't say, yeah, we're together.
But she didn't fight it.
She didn't fight it.
Right.
And that's why I thought the walls were down.
That's true. So I don't know. I think that pretty much wraps us up in a tight little bow here at the Intelligence season finale.
Yeah.
Let's. Here's the hoping for a season 2.
Yeah.
If they're back, we'll be back. that's what I got, and that's what you get. So, Yael, why don't you tell the viewers where they can find you?
The people can find me here at AfterBuzz this Tuesday for the season finale of Lost Girl, Arrow, The Tomorrow People, Grimm, and House of Lies season finale on Sunday with Lem. Also online at yael.tv, that's yael.tv, and on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Google Plus at Yael Tygiel, YaelTygiel.
Lem, what shows can the people find you as well as your social media?
Wow.
Get us all that stuff. It's that time.
All of it. Well, you know, we're doing, let's see. I have to think about it.
House of Lies on Sunday.
House of Lies on Sunday. I'm really excited about Hell's Kitchen. We were number 3 last season, so I'm really excited about that. Also on Mary Mary, and that's going great. I'm very excited about doing the season finale with Yael, House of Lies. And you can find me at The Poet Saint at Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook all day, every day.
All day, every day. And as always, you can find me at RyanHooks92 on the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram, and the Yahoo. Coming up here at AfterBuzz TV, I am starting a brand new show called Turn. It's an AMC drama about the American Revolution. It's going to be awesome. If you want to go back and check old episodes, 11 Eye on Black Sails, we're there. Got Revolution. And don't worry, we'll be back for more. But guys, thanks for tuning in here to AfterBuzz TV, your one and only spot for TV after show entertainment. Check you on the flip side.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.